I must say, most recently, though we've known another for a couple of years, Angelos Sakkis, we have most recently been engaged. We are all editors of a Greek anthology that's forthcoming. I put a little marks on making contractions on certain words. Dimitris Karalambos also was also producing the book, done some editorial work, and so has the first reader, Angelos Sakkis. But Angelos Sakkis, among many translators in that anthology, is the finest translator of that anthology. He's a translator of Greek, but he's also a poet who writes in American English, and he has a number of chapbooks here, and I want to just hail them right up the front. One is called Fictional Character, another one's called Memory of, another one's called Travelogue with Homer on My Mind. And also, and these are each $5, not bad. $5 there. This one's a little more, 15. He translated Demosthenes Agrafiotis, his poetry. He translated with his nephew John Sakkis. This one is, I think, $15. Okay? We're going to hear from Angelo now. Let's welcome him, Angelos Sakkis.
Read. First of all, am I heard?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all right.
Lift it a little more.
A little closer.
Okay. How's this?
That's
Excellent.
oh, thank you.
Okay. How's this? Good. Thank you. I'm going to read a couple of things from my chapbook, Memory of. This. There's a number of family-related pieces. We are a large family and rather well-knit, and we get together often. So this one is called Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving with a family. The hosting brother makes the call overseas, speaks with father. We're all here. Passes the phone to another brother. Then another gets to speak for some time. He gets on the phone last. The father praising the grandson, his son, how tall he's grown. Then he puts mother on. She sounds as if she's fighting back tears, voice breaking and wavering. So old now and resigned. He yells, "How are you?" Silence. Then in a weak voice, "Anything that you tell me I can't hear, but I'm happy we're having this conversation. I want to give you my blessing and tell you just one thing. Stay close to our church." He can hear father in the background saying loudly to her, "All of them tell him, all of them." He hears him from half around the world, all the way in California. But she goes on unhearing. "So that you may also have the blessing of the Almighty." Then she just puts down the phone. Line goes dead. Time flies. Time flies when you don't pay attention. It soars over San Francisco Bay at 2:37 on a fine Thursday afternoon, over that sailboat loaded with bales of hay and headed for the salt pans in one in what years later would be Milpitas, with all sails expertly trimmed to handle the stiff breeze, ruffling the shallow water to jade green. Before it, time playfully alights again late night on Sunday last at Fleetwood's in old Fanny Bay, while you reread old magazines or play solitaire. The question is, how do you pay attention? What coin exactly is accepted and by whom? Where is attention's office and cashier to receive such? Or is perhaps attention the very coin time is to be paid with, to consent to some stillness, less alacrity, less readiness to take to the sky? Use a different means of transportation maybe, like treacle or molasses, or the caparisoned back of a village ass, something antique and retrograde. Would that one could get time arrested, say for excessive speed, the limit set by one's state of mind. Ah, time passes, Yanni said, whether you copulate or not. What's on first? Going back as far as he can remember, he's always been focusing on what, agonizing over it, finessing it with care, while letting how take care of itself, form following function and all that, gospel according to Bauhaus. When he looks back now, all he sees is how. When he can see what at all, he finds it wanting, meager. It appears as in the meantime, how has blossomed, presumably feeding on what. What is how, as it were. How is where it takes place. None of this is earth-shaking, of course, notable even. Still, it gives him pause. He's been since taking steps to compensate, but finds his engine runs mostly on what. He still tries to figure out how. Well, there goes the life, he thinks, frittered away on dry runs. There was an old Greek who lived by a creek. When he first came to California, he had no English to speak of, or any driving skills. He rode the bus to the rumbling old Oakland High for evening classes in ESL and later driver's ed, eventually getting his first car used from a Berkeley grip. Remembers driving on the wide new freeway, so new few cars were on it yet, except rush hour, and often getting caught by surprise nearing the maze and catching sight of the big sign for Walnut Creek, the sprawling suburb to the east as yet mostly unbuilt. For a long time, his heart momentarily skipping a beat when, being still new to country, language, and driving, kept on misreading the C of the sign Creek for G.